Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your source material and, well, plunge right into its unseen depths. We're always looking for those surprising insights, those real aha moments.
Definitely.
So today, we're embarking on a slightly different kind of deep dive. Our sources aren't, your typical articles or dense research papers.
Oh, that's what you need.
They're more like concise visual narratives. Think storyboards, but really meticulously crafted, and they come with these evocative voiceovers.
Almost like tiny films, really. Each one packed with meaning.
Exactly. Short films where every frame, every gesture, and that carefully chosen voiceover is just designed to deliver this powerful punch. So our mission today is to analyze how these stories are told, not just what they say. We want to uncover the profound wisdom that's kind of woven into what seems like a simple everyday act. Okay, let's unpack this.
Was good.
We're going to challenge some assumptions, I think, about what defines value and connection in our modern world. And we're using this maybe surprising source, a simple story about knitting.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how these brief, almost poetic moments use this really familiar image, right? A grandmother knitting.
Right.
But they use it to explore these huge universal themes: connection, memory, the transfer of wisdom,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a masterclass in nonverbal storytelling, really. Something few traditional articles could probably achieve. Taking something seemingly domestic
Uh-huh.
and elevating it into this universal symbol for how we actually build meaning in our lives.
And right away, that very first scene, it just sets up this compelling tension.
It really does.
The voiceover from scene one, it says, "When the world was lost in mobiles, Grandma was weaving memories with her hands. Love was hidden in every stitch." But it's not just the words, is it? It's the visual, too. Grandma's hands moving slowly, deliberately. Maybe you imagine it contrasting sharply with, like, the quick fleeting glow of a phone screen somewhere nearby.
Exactly. That silent juxtaposition, it speaks volumes. It highlights that slow, intentional rhythm of creation against, well, the digital blur we're also used to.
Yeah, the blur.
Indeed. And it brilliantly underscores how some of life's most priceless treasures, they aren't found on a store shelf, are they?
No.
They're meticulously woven, stitch by careful stitch, into the very fabric of our being. In a world that's, increasingly dominated by mass production and these fleeting digital interactions, these sources don't just remind us of the value in intentional creation. They show us that the act itself can be a quiet form of resistance, a deliberate choice to invest emotional energy where it truly counts.
A quiet resistance. I like that.
Yeah, the value isn't just in the finished sweater, right? It's in the time, the care, and that deep, silent affirmation that went into every single loop.
And this next scene, scene two, it really peels back another layer, doesn't it? It pulls you deeper into the sensory stuff, the emotional experience.
Yes, it focuses on those intimate details.
Yeah, the voiceover says, "The click-clack of those needles wasn't just joining yarn, but also the warmth of our childhood."
That line.
What struck me about this was how the visual, those wrinkled hands, coupled with the sound of the clicking needles, it sort of bypasses your intellect,
Yeah, straight to the heart.
It taps directly into this universal emotional reservoir we all have for comfort, for belonging. It's not about the physical garment anymore. It's like you're physically joining a feeling.
Precisely. These sources beautifully illustrate how objects, especially handmade ones, they become these profound vessels for emotional resonance, for memory.
Great vessels,
The auditory and visual cues, that repetitive, soothing sound of the needles, the visible wisdom in those hands, they evoke this powerful, almost primal sense of comfort, of belonging.
Primal, that's interesting.
Well, yeah, these aren't just material items. They become tangible representations of shared history, of affection.
Yeah.
They connect us to a lineage of care that transcends just, simple possession. It's fascinating how those specific sensory inputs become anchors for childhood memories and feelings of safety.
It also moves pretty quickly beyond just memory, suggesting something deeper, purpose, maybe even hope.
Yes, definitely hope.
Because in scene three, you see the sweater being put on a child, and the voiceover tells us, every color, every thread becomes hope for a loved one.
Powerful.
There's this kind of alchemy happening there, right? This mundane act of knitting is transformed, transmuted into a tangible vessel for these abstract intentions. How does a simple loop of thread become a declaration of hope, a quiet prayer for the future?
That's a crucial observation. This speaks to how creative acts, particularly those we do with a loved one in mind, become profoundly symbolic.
Symbolic, right?
Each stitch, each careful choice of color. It isn't just a design decision, it's an expression of deep care. It's a silent wish for well-being, a quiet aspiration for the recipient's future.
So it's more than just being nice or altruistic.
Well, it goes beyond simple altruism, I think. It's an act of investing one's very being, maybe, into the potential of another. The effort is directly tied to the hopes one holds. It highlights how often our greatest expressions of love aren't in the grand gestures,
No.
but in these meticulous, quiet acts of creation for others.
This then sort of culminates in this powerful definition of what knitting truly embodies. It presents it as a legacy.
Yes, the legacy aspect is key.
Scene 4 shows a younger person learning from the grandmother, and the voiceover states, knitting is not just art. It's patience, focus, and the language of love, passed down through generations.
That phrase, language of love.
Yeah. And the visual here is so important. You see the hands working together, that quiet concentration. It really emphasizes how patience and focus are integral parts of this language of love.
This is such a pivotal point if we connect this to the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't merely about transmitting a technical skill like how to do a purl stitch or something.
Right. It's deeper than that.
It's about the transmission of core human values. The act of knitting, as it's depicted here, becomes a vehicle for teaching discipline, mindfulness, and a specific form of, well, nonverbal communication of affection.
Without needing words.
Exactly. It's how a family's wisdom, maybe a quiet strength, and a deep, enduring love are fostered and passed down, often without a single word needing to be spoken about it. The very